Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the November 20th patch notes, which as of recording this video is the most recent patch in Black Ops 4, and I have decided to make patch notes videos a part of the in-depth series. For the patch notes, I might have slightly different thumbnails, but I did kind of want to roll this into the core series. So let's start off with the big announcement that Treyarch had, which is this weekend there's an event that they call the Quad Feed, which gives you 2 XP in multiplayer and zombies. It gives you double merits in Blackout, double Nebulium and zombies, Nebulium, I can never say that correctly, and double tiers for any mode that works for tiers, which is anything except zombies, unfortunately. So there's double in just about everything except for weapon XP. I hope you did that last weekend. I didn't do it enough, and I'm way behind on grinding out some operator mods. There is a new mode added, new mode slight modification of a mode. It's TDM 100, which is exactly like regular Chaos TDM, except the score limit has been raised to 100 instead of 75. I think this is a very good change. It allows the games to go on a little longer, it lets them be a little more fun, gives you an opportunity to go for higher streaks, and I think it should stay. I think TDM 100 should just be the standard TDM. That's what I'm playing right now with the good old ABR, and with that we are going to move on to the next update in this one, which is making Nuketown available on all systems. Last week PlayStation users got Nuketown a little bit early. Now that the 1 week exclusivity with Sony has passed, Nuketown is available on PC and on Xbox. On those systems as well, zombies will now be spawning at Nuketown to celebrate, and there will be a zombies crate behind the sign just like it is in the standard zombies version of Nuketown. Let's move into the weapon buffs and nerfs. First up today, the Swordfish was buffed to have less vertical recoil, with the goal being that you can get more shots on at range, and this, in my opinion, is a good buff, because I personally didn't like the Swordfish. I kind of struggled using it in every mode, and seeing it have less recoil is good for me. Hopefully I'm not going to get bodied and mapped by it all night. The ABR 223 got a significant buff in that it got slightly less recoil. This gun didn't kick a whole lot as is, and you had a grip, but there's a little bit less vertical recoil, but most notably, its 4-shot kill range extended from 25 meters to 32 meters, which means that since this is one of the few tactical rifles you can put a suppressor on, the suppressor becomes that much more effective. So big buff to the ABR 223, and this is a gun that I really liked, so I'm happy with that. A gun that I like gets stronger. There was a PC specific retuning, which is why you're seeing PC gameplay right now, and it focused on the SMGs. We got rebalances for the Spitfire, Cordite, MX9, and GKS. They restored the previous aim down sights movement speed, which was nerfed in a previous nerf, and they got damage range reductions for all. These were almost exclusively focused on very close quarters combat, kind of like what you're seeing here, with the goal being that people shouldn't be able to rush around and hip fire you faster than you can ADS and react, and I tried really hard to rush around and hip fire as many people as I could in my PC gameplay, and to be perfectly honest, I struggled with it. I'm not the greatest at PC, and the nerf isn't super helpful. The care package got a very significant buff and a slight nerf as well. The care package now has a faster entry onto the map in 2 ways. The entry points for the helicopters are now closer to the map, so they start closer to the map than they did before, and they move faster and exit faster from the map. So those choppers are going to be coming in way faster, and they added less roll and bounciness to the grenades that you have to throw for the care package to come in, so the grenades tend to stick closer to where you want them to be. All of this at the cost of less high-end score streaks, which I think is a good thing, because care packages are a gamble and you shouldn't be over rewarded for that gamble. Some Call of Duty set the math up a little bit wrong, where care packages were almost always beneficial, and I've had a few enemies pull some really nice stuff out of the care packages. I would like to not have that moving forward. Was that score streak points got significantly reworked. There were score streak point reductions for the Dart, RCXD, Lightning Strike, Sentry Gun, Sniper's Nest, and Thresher, which are basically all of the unpopular score streaks. I don't see a whole lot of Darts and RCXDs. Nobody was using the Lightning Strike over the HELLSTORM at all. The Sentry Guns I saw a bit. I personally loved the Sniper's Nest. Everybody said I was crazy and the Attack Chopper was better, and the Thresher ultimately was just underpowered compared to the Attack Chopper. Conversely, you got SCORESTREAK point increases for the HELLSTORM missile, thank God, because that's the most dangerous thing in the entire game, the MANTIS, and the good old attack chopper, or basically the good streaks that everybody was running. They now have SCORESTREAK point increases. In my opinion, this will be helpful in that it'll be a little harder to earn those, but it's not really the issue with SCORESTREAKs in Black Ops 4. We're going off of the subjective part of in-depth, and I'm just going to offer my opinion on this. I think that the streaks for Black Ops 4 were probably added later in the game. I think Treyarch really wanted to make some kind of game with specialists, and the SCORESTREAKs are largely reskins from previous Call of Duty games with new names. And people kind of memed on them during the beta because most of the SCORESTREAKs were really weak. You've seen the, quote, devastating SCORESTREAKs meme. Well, I think that made the SCORESTREAK designer at Treyarch pretty mad, so what they did is they turned down the auto-targeting speed really short, and they increased the lethality of both the accuracy and the damage of all of the SCORESTREAKs. So now the Sniper's Nest, the Attack Chopper, the Mantis, the paratroopers that come in, basically anytime you walk within their field of vision, they auto-target you and lay down a whole bunch of laser fire really fast. And it makes them more devastating and makes the guy that got the SCORESTREAK feel more rewarded, but the problem is there's no counterplay to that, and it's very frustrating to deal with something that auto-targets you that fast, so I would work on their lethality before I would work on the points. Speaking of points, they decided to reduce points given from all SCORESTREAKs for SCORESTREAK kills from plus 25 to plus 10, so less than half the amount of points you were getting, and I think that goes back into somebody knew that these streaks were just shredding and racking up points and you could loop them really fast, so less points for that. And overall what this means is that the Sniper's Nest is probably going to be more cost efficient than the Attack Chopper now. Moving over to Blackout mode, the Bowie Knife is now available in Blackout. It spawns in crates, zombie drops, as in those drops you get from killing the zombies, and generally in zombies areas. In my time playing, it seemed fairly common. There were plenty of them around. They weren't hard to pick up. And I love and hate this weapon for various reasons. I love it because the Bowie Knife one-shot kills zombies, which is awesome. I don't have to waste my ammo on them. It's silent, it's deadly, it clears them out fast. I can get those boxes fast, which is great. I'm not drawing attention to myself. It also one-shot kills people, nomenclature I guess. One stab kills people, regardless of armor level or health. When you get stabbed by the knife, you die immediately, just like the Tomahawk, which as a troll who runs around with Skulker and Dead Silence, I utterly love sneaking up on people and knifing them. But the melee range is busted, just like the melee range on the combat knife in multiplayer. It glitches out all the time. If an enemy does something like walk backwards, they will just completely defeat you. Just watch this clip of me sneaking up on a level 3 armor guy. That engagement legitimately made me depressed, because I was getting near in-game with all knife kills. I was thinking to myself that what I could do is maybe go for a knife-only win for this episode. Oh look, here's a level 3 armor guy. I can stab him and take his fresh armor. He's prone, he's not paying attention. And all he did is walk backwards and watch me glitch out and spaz all over the map. So that's super frustrating, and I know when I go to do the combat knife in-depth, it's going to be frustrating in multiplayer too. Treyarch really needs to work on that, because right now I'm probably not going to use the Bowie Knife at all. There were some game mode specific changes, such as bomb explosions in hardcore no longer count as team kills. Thank goodness, because previously in S&D, when the bomb would go off, you would just get booted from the game if too many teammates were there. And points for taking the hardpoint got reduced from plus 100 to plus 50. I think that this was kind of to discourage players from doing the musical chairs on the hardpoint or rushing to just get the plus 100 and running away to just boost up their score streaks. Not the most significant change, not something I'm really worried about, but the pro scene might have something to say about it. And finally, we have a section of fixes. In Blackout in specific, both PC and console, Treyarch said that they fixed screen jittering. I hope so, and by screen jittering, that means the random moments in Blackout where your screen kind of spazzes out and shakes really hard and does strange things. I really, really do hope that is completely fixed, because I found it very annoying. There is an enormous list of patches for zombies, about 50 different zombies crash fixes, just tons and tons and tons of them. them, you can go read the list. You can tell I'm tired. Read the list if you want to. And there were 12 multiplayer related crash fixes, so an overall stability improvement. Overall, I'm good with this update. We got a new event this weekend with the quad feed. Nuketown's now available on all systems. We got a whole ton of added stability. 2 weapons that I wanted to be buffed were buffed. And we got the Bowie Knife added to Blackout, which is super fun and useful, kind of maybe in the future if it gets fixed. Guys, that is all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. And if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.